Hi, welcome back to Box Delight. Today I'm going to show you Shadowrift. Shadowrift is a deck building game. It's a cooperative deck building game. I'm going to show you how to play this one solo. What's interesting, this is a Thunderstone-like game, but there's some notable differences, some things that make it much more interesting to play. As you take on different types of enemies, we've got the Drow, Fire Dragons, Necromancers, Glacians, Demons and Stormlords. Each one brings its own set of unique cards and gives you a different gameplay experience with it. There's other notable differences. You're playing with the usual hands, so we're going to be drawing a hand of 5 cards, but we also have something called a town square, which is like a general area of villagers whose abilities you can use. They supplement your hand, so you're not just playing out of your hand, you're playing out of this offer of town squares as well. And this town square can evolve with visitors that come and go from the town. Just like Thunderstone, you have a row of monsters advancing towards the village, and there's multiple victory conditions and loss conditions, and this creates a nice story and different strategies that you can use for different types of enemies that you face. What I've got set up here is the board with some generic cards. These are things that are always available whoever you're playing, and then this is the market, if you like. This is where you can go buy spells, skills, different weapons you can attack with, and loot items that can help you. So here we've got a blade, a shining blade, and some daggers. Now these cards will change, so there's lots of variability, just like what you'd see in something like Thunderstone or Dominion, and different decks of cards will offer you lots of different combinations of how to play. So here we have a bunch of actions that are not in play, like a heal spell, a rousing speech, revitalize spell, frozen ground. Okay, different things that are going to alter up the games each time you play. Now I'm going to dive straight into gameplay and show you how this thing works. But all you've got to remember is here's our standard set of cards. There's wounds here, heroism that you earn from defeating monsters. This is your market. These are called walls. These are things that you can build around your village. Okay, and one of the victory conditions is that you get all 8 walls in your village. That means just built into your deck, into your town deck. Alright, so you can add cards not just to your player deck but to your town deck, and you can have visitors. These are different types of people that can come visit your town, and walls that you can build around your town. Okay, these are corpses if villagers get killed, so monsters are going to be attacking your village, okay, from here to here, and villagers will get replaced with corpses. If your town square, this section, is full of corpses and infiltrators, some villagers here that come and infiltrate, so basically bad stuff here, you lose the game. If this deck ever runs out, you lose the game. These are totems. This is a monster special deck, so every type of monster, so we're going to be playing, this time we're going to be playing against the Drow. Okay, but different types of monsters will bring their own monster deck and their own set of monster specials. So Drows bring these totems. Now the instructions suggest you start with these Fire Dragons as your first game. Not because they're easy to beat, because they're not. They're difficult to beat. And Fire Dragons have a special deck of burns that come and fill up your deck and keep wounding you every time they get drawn. But the Fire Dragons are actually quite difficult to beat, or I find they're quite difficult to beat. Maybe I just haven't found the right strategy. We're going to win if, like I say, we get all these walls into our village, but also in this monster deck we're going to be playing solo 2 Shadowrift cards, and these will scale up. There'll be more of these for more players in the game, but solo we've got 2 Shadowrift cards. We're going to distribute them in that deck. If you defeat these, which you can do using these seal spells, okay, these are rifts that you can seal, it's removed from the game, and if all Shadow Rifts are sealed, the heroes win. Alright, so 2 victory conditions. Seal these 2, by all 8 walls. Now I'm going to try and go for the Shadowrift strategy, I think. It depends how quickly things come out, or maybe I can start buying through these, because I find that works well here. And obviously it depends on what cards come here and what your ability to take on monsters is and work your way through this deck, because these are going to be spread in here. If you can get through this deck quickly and get these out and sealed, then that might be the quicker route to victory. Now the way you do this is you just shuffle up the monster deck, and we're going to put one of these Shadowrifts in the top half and one of these Shadowrifts in the bottom half, and give it a shuffle and then restack, and that becomes our monster deck. So we don't know when these things are going to come out. There's a couple of extra little trackers here on the board. There's one here that shows you the order of play, and for the sake of the video I'm actually going to use one of these little wound tokens just to show you how this plays. And then you've got this thing called monster power points to record how many monster power points they've got. And monster power points is what they use to bring new monsters into play, the enemy, okay, that we're facing off, the game that we're trying to defeat. So let's go through these phases then. First thing we do is draw cards, which we've already done. We've drawn 5 cards into our hand. Then we refresh the town. Now incidentally, there is an expansion that I have called Skittering Darkness. I'm not using any expansion stuff right now, but you could be having different kind of villagers. Okay, this expansion brings different kind of villagers, different kind of visitors, some different marketplace stuff here if you're going to mix that in, and also different monsters. Okay, different monsters and special cards. So that's Skittering Darkness. This is an extra 135 cards. Alright, so what we're doing, we're refilling town square. So this is just a random deck full of basic villagers. Okay, most of these are guards, and guards is something that helps you fight off monsters and stop them killing your villagers. Because remember, one of the lose conditions is when we draw up the town square, this deck might start to get full of corpses and bad stuff, bad visitors, okay, infiltrators. At this point it's okay, it doesn't matter what's here just yet, but when we get to Hero's Act, if we get to Hero's Act and there are no villagers here, then we immediately lose the game. Okay, so that's Refresh Town. Remember, these are things that we can use as well as what's in our hand, okay, these 5 cards. Right, what have we got? We've got Strike, which is a type of attack, and Explore is an action we can take. And then we've got Prowess. Prowess is like the currency that you can buy new cards with. Okay, there's also a second currency, these coins. Right, we'll look at that when we get to Hero's Act, which is step 7 in a round. Next is Refresh Travellers. This is the Traveller deck. Again, you shuffle this at the beginning of the game, and it's got lots of different people who can come and visit. They're called Travellers. Okay. Now these red ones, they've got to have this bloodied dagger in the top right. These are infiltrators. These are bad people that can come and visit. Okay, so we don't really want them. They can get in the way, and they also can help cause you to lose the game. So at this point, Refresh Travellers, we refresh these 2 slots. These are 2 travellers that could come and join our village. Now, having lots of villagers is good. Buying these is good, because if our town has lots of villagers, then we stand less chance of losing in that way, of not having any villagers, right? But they have costs. So this one here costs 3 gold and 4 prowess. This one here, 3 gold, 4 prowess. Okay. Next stage, Monsters Act. There's no monsters in our attack area. Okay, there's these 4 spots. Monsters start, monster 1, 2 and 3. If there were monsters here, they would now act. So they're not going to do anything. There's no monsters there. Monsters gain power. Every turn playing solo, the monsters gain 3 power. Okay, so we put that up. Now, there's this other area called Monster Power Area. If monsters travel through these spots, it's just kind of like Thunderstone, 1, 2 and 3, and reach our village, they go into this power area. They don't act as monsters anymore, they've rampaged through our village, but they start adding their power Okay, it's not just the 3, but additional power from monsters who have escaped, if you like. How is monsters' power used is in the add monsters phase. This monster deck, the top card is always face up. Okay, so it should be face up right now. Now each of these monsters has a cost in the top left. This says 5. Once the monsters have 5 power, when we hit this add monsters phase, this boulder giant here will come into play. And when a monster acts, once we hit that monster act, what it does depends on which slot it's in. If it's in the start spot, it does nothing. But once it hits spot 1, it will then kill a villager with this icon, an infiltrator. If it's in the monster 2 spot, it will break a wall. Remember, we're trying to build walls around our village. That's one of the victory conditions. And then if it's in monster spot 3, it will kill a villager with this kind of hammer symbol. Heal 2. This is its health. It's got 8 health. It'll take 8 wounds to kill it, so it could actually heal itself. And then we've got this rampage ability. Rampage means it goes back to the start and pushes its way through the village again. It's going to keep acting and keep killing stuff, this boulder giant. Alright, but anyway, it needs 5 power to come into play. The monsters have only got 3 right now. Okay, so that's add monsters. Then step 7, heroes act. Now what's going to happen, by the way, is once we act, this is the main part of the game. This is where we do our thing. Now there's a slight variation in the solo game. We go to clean up, then we start a new round, draw cards, refresh town, refresh travellers, monsters act, and so on. Every other turn, you skip steps 4, 5 and 6. The monsters don't act. We don't add new monsters. We go straight from refresh to heroes act again. Right? So you kind of get 2 turns for every monster turn. Right? That's to compensate for you being on your own in the solo game. Now what I'm going to do is flip this token at cleanup to help me remember when I've acted and when I haven't, whether the monsters act or not. Okay, cool. Heroes act. This is when we get to do some deck building. So the game starts. You have a deck of 10 cards, so 5 in your hand, 5 in your deck, and we can start doing stuff using cards from our hand. So we can use prowess to buy things to build into our deck. Now, like regular deck builders, things you buy go into your discard, so you can't use them straight away. And then you've got this second currency of coins. Coins cost 2 prowess, so you can just use. Remember, I said like this villager here costs 3 coins and 4 prowess. So you've got to start collecting coins to be able to buy these things up here. Walls tend to cost coins as well to put them into your village. But there's actually a third currency. So this shrine, for example, costs 2 price, 3 gold coins, and 1 magic. Okay, 1 magic. And magic isn't a currency you start with. Or can easily buy, but you can get cards like this spell. So this prophecy spell, for example, has an ability, a spell effect. It costs 3 prowess. It also can be used instead of this. You can use it for its 1 magic resource instead. Okay, so we probably do want to start buying some of these. We've got resurrect, prophecy, fireball here, and we also want to buy a seal. Okay, this one costs 4 prowess because that's the way we close those shadow rifts that help us win the game. Okay, if we don't want to use the wall strategy. Alright, so I've kind of got an idea about what I want to do. Strike's not going to help me because I've got nothing to attack. You can't save cards. Sometimes you can. This might be a special ability here that allows you to save stuff. But strikes aren't going to help me right now because I haven't got nowhere to hit. But this one says explore. It says, look at the top card of the Traveller deck. You may put it on the bottom of the deck. And if I want to, I can pay a coin and put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom. Now that's a nice way to work through the monster deck quickly by exploring, okay, with gold. So I'm going to play Explore for its first ability, its free ability. But do I want to get some gold? I think I do. Right, let's hold for a second. So these are the cards in my hand. But remember, I've also got villagers here who can help me. I've got a guard. He has a reaction ability. And that says, when another town card would be killed, you kill the guard instead. Right? So you can play this if a monster would attack the village. That's not going to happen. Another guard here. But these other 3 cards, the merchant, the stonemason, the farmer, have these aid abilities. this merchant says aid, gain a coin. And I can play this just as if it was in my hand. Okay, it also has a cost down here. That's if this merchant ended up back for some reason as a traveller. When villagers get killed, they go on the bottom of this deck, and then they could come out here. So I could buy this merchant back if he got killed. Okay, it gets replaced with a corpse, goes over here, and I can buy it back for 2 gold. But when it's in my village, this doesn't mean anything. I don't need to buy him anymore. But the merchant says aid, gain a coin. So I could play this. I'm just going to put it over here in town discard. Gain a coin. The stonemason says when using to buy a wall, reduce its cost by 2 coins. So I could, for example, this shrine costs 1 magic, 3 gold, and 2 prowess. I could pay 2 prowess and only 1 gold and 1 magic to buy the shrine. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use the stonemason just yet. And then the farmer has an aid that says use as 1 prowess. Okay, so not only do I have 3 prowess in my hand, I've got the farmer as well. So I could buy something that costs 4 prowess, which I might actually do. But as it goes, I'm going to explore now. I'm going to look at the top card of the traveller deck, decide whether I want to keep it or put it on the bottom. It's a baker. I'm happy with the baker. He's a friendly villager. I'm going to put that back. And it says, for 1 coin, which I'm going to pay, put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to take this boulder giant, put it on the bottom. Okay, and remember the top card always has to be face up. Now the only reason I've done that is to work my way through the deck. I'm trying to find those Shadowrifts. I'm exploring. Alright, we've got an Earthen Knight. Okay, costs 4 monster power to come in. Alright, so that's explore played. Okay, now I've got strike's not going to do anything. I've got 3 prowess plus 1 here. That's 4 prowess. And with that 4 prowess, I'm going to use the farmer for 1 and 3 prowess from my hand. I'm going to buy a seal. Okay, I want to get this early because I wanted to get that Shadowrift early. The other thing that the seal spell does is it says you may put a card from the monster power area on the bottom of the monster deck. So if monsters do invade my village, I can get rid of them and put them on the bottom. So seals are good. And they give me 1 magic as well. So seal, really good. I'm happy with that. Okay, that's it. We've played all our cards. At the end of Hero's Act, we go to cleanup phase. Cleanup phase, really simple. All the cards that you played and any cards left in your hand, so strike was left, I hadn't played it, they go to the discard pile. Alright, so be careful of that timing issue, it's important. And the other thing I do during cleanup is I flip this little token here. Right, then that tells me we're back at the beginning, and when I'm moving this along, I'm going to skip Monsters Act, Monsters Gain and add Monsters and jump straight to Heroes Act. Okay. You could, if you like, thematically I kind of think of it as day and night. So during the night monsters do stuff. We get to clean up. We've finished the first night. I flipped to daytime, and now I'm going to go through this. And monsters don't do stuff during the day. That's thematically for the solo game how I think of things. So we're back at draw cards, so we draw 5 cards, that's the remainder of our deck. We've got 4 prowess here and a strike. The strike's not going to help us. Refresh the town, these cards go away, and we draw 5 more. Now, so there's one thing about this game is there's a lot of shuffling here, particularly in the town square. So you might want to sleeve this stuff anyway. So if you're going to sleeve, you need to sleeve these and these. Okay, and obviously all the corpses as well, because corpses can end up here and the walls. Alright. There we go. Okay, so the town's refreshed. Refresh travellers. These 2 go away. We didn't buy them. They've gone. They may come back another day. We know we've got this baker that we saw. And then the second visitor, innkeeper. If one of these bad travellers, called infiltrators, pops up, they immediately come to town. We don't buy them, they just come into our village, into our town, and start causing havoc. Okay, Monsters Act, we're going to skip 5, 6, step 7, Heroes Act. Okay, so we get another turn. So that's the benefit of the solo game. So first look in the town, see if there's anyone here who can help you. Not really. Reaction. The smith says you can pay a gold and you deal an extra damage when attacking. We've got no one to attack just yet. The guard, right, the village isn't really going to help me this time. Okay, strike's not going to help me, so we've got 4 prowess. So I could stock up on coins. I remember they cost 2 each. I could buy a couple of coins. I could buy another seal. Incidentally, if we look at the seal, it's got another, and also leading strike and fireball and resurrect. They've got another icon. This icon at top left here, this white sun. This means it's an epic card. On your turn, when you're acting, you can only play one of these per turn. But the mayor has a special that says you may play an extra epic card this round, so we could actually play 2. Now, a quick look in my market. Remember, these are the walls I can buy. These are the villages. They're going to cost gold, so I can't buy those just yet. I could get some coins and start to get some villagers. I need to stock up on coins. Or if I want to improve my deck, I'm looking at this stuff here. These cost loot, cost coins to buy. We've got a fireball spell, which is nice, but I haven't really got anyone to start hitting yet. Might, these are kind of one-time use prowess, so they give you an extra boost. They cost 2 prowess to buy, but what it means is you might not have a good turn now, but you might have a better turn later, because they give you 1 prowess and they say draw another card. So it's a kind of a way of saying here's 1 bit of prowess for free, to kind of boost up your prowess to buy some of the more expensive stuff. And I really like resurrect. Resurrect lets me remove corpses from play. But what I think I'm going to do is buy a couple of coins with my 4 prowess. They cost 2 each, and they come directly in front of me. And the reason why is because I want to be able to possibly get some extra villagers in my town. Okay, so that's it. Heroes have acted. Cleanup phase. This goes to my discard pile. I'm going to flip this token over, so now it's in the red. And we go down to draw cards. My deck's empty, so I have to give my deck a shuffle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Refresh town. So all this stuff goes. They did nothing for me. And again, my town deck is now empty. So I'm going to give this a shuffle. So there's quite a bit of shuffling in this game. Refresh the town. The town is nice and healthy. Everyone's alive and well. Refresh travellers. They go on the bottom. You're not shuffling this deck, which is really cool. So you can choose the order you put those on the bottom if you want. Refresh travellers. We've got a witch this time. Oh, and a heretic. Okay, so we've got an infiltrator. So this infiltrator, it says the first hero to play a spell this round gains a wound. So yeah, that's wounds. This big thick deck here, they just clog up your deck basically, and you can pay 2 prowess to get rid of a wound. So wounds clog up your deck, making your hands less potent. Right, so the heretic goes to the discard, town discard, which means it's not going to come out until we reshuffle. We don't refill that spot, that's taken up with the heretic. Monsters act, there's no monsters here. Monsters gain power. So remember, it's 3 power plus anything in power, monster power area. Nothing there yet, no monsters have escaped. So monsters are now up to 6 power. Then we move to add monsters. The next monster costs 4. So this monster is going to come into the monster start space. Okay, and it's going to spend 4 power to do so, 6 down to 2. We reveal the next card on top, and it's the Shadowrift. Okay, so the Shadowrift now comes into the monster power area, and what it's going to do is add this 1 power. Okay, so next time monsters gain power, they're going to gain 1 extra because it's got this 1 icon up here. Now what I do, and it's up to you, because just the way it is, this monster power area can get quite full. I tend to stick everything over to the side and add one of these little blood tokens up here, one of these wound tokens, to say there's 1 icon here, there's 1 icon here, and then we get 3 by default. So I know now every time the monsters gain power, they're going to gain 4 power because I've put 4 of these tokens up here. Just my own little way of doing it. So, and I keep the cards down here separately. So that's add monsters. This monster's not doing anything, it's just come into play. Next time it's going to come around and start marching towards the monster power area, towards our town. Okay, heroes act now. Let's see what we can do. And I've got the seal. Okay, cool. And this is a quick win for us, hopefully. It says for 1 magic, and that's our downfall. We've got nothing to give us magic. For 1 magic, I can seal a Shadowrift in play, removing it from the game. I can't use this magic here because I'm using it for this. So that's the problem. Something like the Witch would be good, because the Witch has an aid. Use as 1 magic. Okay, so witches bring magic. So I'd really like to buy her, and that will help me seal that Shadowrift. At the moment, yep, can't do much with it. So I need 4 prowess. I've only got 3. The witch costs 4. I've got a strike, which I could use. Let's see. I've got a merchant here in the town who lets me gain a coin. So let's do that. We've got a child. Stops an ability called Annihilation. Annihilation is basically you lose the game. There's big bad boss monsters that have this annihilation that just basically destroy your town. A couple of guards which would stop these monsters attacking. Nothing going on here. Alright, so the smith might be useful. It says pay 1 gold when attacking to deal +1 damage. So I can hit the monster. Any monsters that are in the start area or spots 1, 2 and 3, I can now start attacking. So I could try and attack it if I wanted to. And the good thing about attacking and killing monsters is they earn you heroism. And heroism are these cards that go in your deck. And they give you 1 coin, 1 price, or 1 magic. So that is a way of getting magic in my deck. Let's try and hit that knight. It's quite hard. It's got 6 health. But if I can do 1 melee damage to it, I could pay 2 prowess and make it a ranged attack. Now what's going to happen is every time we attack a monster in melee, we damage it, we always take a wound. Okay, if we do a ranged attack by paying 2 price to this ranged attack, we can do it damage, we can attack it without taking that wound. But I want to keep my prowess actually. So let's do 1 strike. We're going to use the smith, pay a coin. Okay, we'll pay that coin. And that'll do 2 damage, and it's 2 melee. So I'll take the 2 damage. That goes up here on the Earthen Knight. Okay, like so. And when it's got 6, it's killed. And when it's killed, we'll gain 2 heroism because it's got 2 icons here, right, equal to the power that it gives. All right. So we've got 3 chances to. Yeah, if we do that 3 times, we can kill it. But I like heroism. Heroism is, that's the secret to your success in this game, really. But that's melee damage. We now have to take a wound. Okay, every time we hit a monster in melee, we take 1 wound. Alright, it doesn't matter how many times we hit it. We could hit it 3 times, but for each monster you attack, you take a wound. So if there were 3 monsters up there and I attacked all 3 of them, I would take 3 wounds, 1 for each battle. Okay. If I don't attack the knight, I don't take any wounds. Right, that's the way it works. Right, seal unfortunately is not going to be able to do anything. So I've got 3 prowess left. I could get this prophecy, brawler, or frenzy. Brawler lets me look at the top 3 cards of my deck, and if I find a wound or an attack, I can put it into my hand. Sometimes putting wounds into your hand is a good idea, because wounds can help you. For example, frenzy here says once per round you may discard a wound when attacking. If you do, you gain no wound for that melee and you do +1 damage. So brawler and frenzy work well together once you've got wounds. But I'm going to take prophecy because I want more chances of getting magic. You always have strikes, they cost 3. Just act out just like the regular basic strike that comes in your deck. Okay, so clean up, discard our hands, flip that over. We're now in the daytime. Draw cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got a strike and an explore, 3 prowess. Okay, refresh the town. Guard. Stonemason, Mare, Farmer, Guard. Refresh Travellers, so that witch that I wanted goes away. And instead we get a robber and a backstabber. 2 infiltrators coming to our village. We'll see what they do when they come out. Monsters don't act because we're in the day. Heroes act. Okay. No visitors for us this time, which is the bad news. We do have an explore and we've got a coin. Oops. I should have done this. There's a Titan here. The big boss, he costs 7. Alright. I really don't like that guy. Definitely not. That's one thing that you can mistakenly do is forget to keep that card. That card should be face up all the time. I mean, it could be in a cost 0 or a cost 2 card and come out straight away. It wasn't, but yeah, always keep that top card face up. Okay, so we're definitely going to explore. Look at the top card of the Traveller deck. It's a Pilgrim. I'm happy to keep him. It's not a bad guy. Pay a coin and put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom. I really want to be cycling through this deck as quickly as possible. So Titan goes on the bottom, and we're going to draw instead a Stone Moat. Okay, that's definitely coming in next time. It only costs 2 power. Sometimes speed is what this is all about. Just surviving and getting through that monster deck is what I'm trying to do. I've got a strike, so I can attack. 1 melee damage. I could make it ranged, but no, I'm going to just strike. So I'm going to take a wound, obviously, and then just put 1 more on this Earthen Knight. I've got 3 prowess, 4 prowess. So I've got 4 prowess and potentially 2 coins for buying from here, but really the cheapest thing, these have all got magic in. I've got a moat, costs 4 prowess and 5 coins, and a stone wall. And shrine is usually the one you can get more quickly. Right, so I can't buy any walls just yet, so stonemason's not helping. But I've got 3 prowess plus the 1 here is potentially 4, so that's 2 more coins. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy. And the fireball is really good as well. Maybe I should buy the fireball. Let's buy a fireball. A nice big fireball. Okay. Clean up. Flip, draw cards. 1. Now I've got to shuffle. 4 more. That's 5 cards. Okay. Refresh town. These go. Refresh town, lots of shuffling. And we have got quite a few infiltrators now, so we've got to be careful and we've got to try and get rid of them if we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got the robber in town now, and it says cards with a coin cost require an extra 2 to buy. The hero may discard an attack to put the robber back on top bottom of the Traveller deck, so we can get rid of him by discarding an attack card. Refresh Travellers. Got Pilgrim and Gravedigger. Gravedigger lets you remove corpses from play. In play is here for a coin. Monsters act. When monsters act, they move forward on this track and then enact the thing that the slot that they're standing on. So the Earthen Knight is going to move forward onto the monster spot 1, and monster spot 1 says kill, and this icon here, this is like a keep in a red shield, a white keep in a red shield. Kill 1 villager with that icon. And it says that it would break a wall instead of killing a villager if there are 4 totems. Okay. Remember, the totems was the monster specials. Some monsters will put these totems into the monster power area. What this is saying, if there's 4 of these things in the monster power area, it'll start breaking walls instead. Okay, walls that are in my village, remember. Okay, so as it goes, he's going to try and kill a guard. Okay, any villagers with this icon, there's a guard here. This one has a loaf of bread, the child, and the merchant has this golden crown. Infiltrators have this bloody dagger. Alright, so these icons refer to types of villagers. And there's 2 guards. You always kill, if there's multiple options, the one closest to town gets discard. So our guard is killed and replaced with a corpse. The guard goes over here on the bottom of the traveller deck, so we can come back and we can pay the cost, 1 coin, to get the guard back. A corpse comes from here and goes into our village in that spot. Remember, if this deck runs out, we lose the game. And remember, when we get to Heroes Active, this is all those red cards, we immediately lose the game. As it goes, we've done our thing. The monsters have acted. The Earth and Night has acted. Monsters gain power. How much power do we gain? 3 plus 1. This 4 here. Alright, so this goes up to 6. Add monsters. Stone mote costs 2. So we spend 2, put the stone mote in. Flip the top card. It's a stone claw pincher. This one costs 4. So this one costs 4, so this is going to come in as well because we've got 4 power. The monsters have got 4 power. They're back down to 0. 2 monsters here now. Turn the next card. A Drow Builder. Okay, that one costs 4, so that's sitting on the top. Some of these cost 0, so you could have things coming out. The 0 ones normally go straight to the monster power area and do stuff over here, just like this Shadowrift. Yeah, those cost 0. Alright, so now we've got 2 monsters in this start space. Now when these act, they're going to act together and you work from the bottom up. Whoever came in first goes first. Next time, that is. So heroes act now. And that's probably a good point to wrap up the video. And next time I'll continue playing and show you how this game develops. Thanks for watching. See you next time.